Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Gordhan ki jai. Munamai ki jai. Nandamai ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guru.
Hare Hare Bol.
This Bhagavad-gita, as it is the essence of all the Upanishads, and it is compared with a cow. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the beloved son of Nanda Maharaj, is famous as a cowherd boy. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are meant to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad-gita as it is. Today we're reading chapter 8, text 16. Abrahma bhuvanaloka punaravartinorjuna mamupetya tu kanteya punarjanma navidyate Abrahma bhuvanaloka Punarjanma na vidyate.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Punar avartinorjuna.
Punaravartinorjuna.
Mamupetya tu konteya.
Mamupetya tu konteya.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Others can chant.
Abrahma Bhunalaloka.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Punar Avartino Arjuna.
Punaravartinorjuna.
Mamupatye tu Kaunteya.
Mamupetya tu konteya.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Punar avartinorjuna.
Punaravartinorjuna.
Mamupetya tu kunteya.
Mamupetya tu konteya.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Abrahma Bhuvanaloka.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Punaravartino Arjuna.
Punaravartinorjuna.
Mamupetya tu Kaunteya.
Mamupetya tu konteya.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Abrahma Bhuvanaloka.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka.
Punaravartino Arjuna.
Punaravartinorjuna.
Mamupetya tu Kaunteya.
Mamupetya tu konteya.
Punarjanma na vidyate.
Punarjanma na vidyate. Abrahma bhuvanaloka. Punaravartinorjuna. Mamupetya tu konteya. Punarjanma na vidyate.
Well done.
Abrahma bhuvanaloka. Punaravartinorjuna. Mamupetya tu konteya. Punarjanma na vidyate. Abrahma bhuvanaloka. Punaravartinorjuna. Mamupetya tu konteya. Punarjanma na vidyate.
Word for word translation. Abrahma Bhuvanat.
Abrahma bhuvanat.
Up to the Brahmaloka planet.
Up to the Brahmaloka planet.
Loka.
Loka.
The planetary systems.
Planetary systems.
Puna.
Puna.
Again.
Again.
Avartina.
Avartina.
Returning.
Returning.
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
O Arjuna.
O Arjuna.
Mam. Unto me.
Unto me.
Upetya.
Upetya.
Arriving.
Arriving.
To. But. Konteya.
Konteya.
O son of Kunti.
O son of Kunti.
Punarjanma.
Punarjanma.
Rebirth.
Rebirth.
Na. Never.
Never.
Vidyate.
Vidyate.
Takes place.
Takes place.
Translation. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. All kinds of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection in bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets, such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indroloka, fall down to earth. The practice of sacrifice, called Panchagni Vidya, recommended in the Chandogya Upanishad, enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Sridhar Swami, in his commentary on Bhagavad-gita, quotes this verse. Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte pratisanchare varasyante kritatmanna pravishanti parampadam. Quote, when there is a devastation of this material universe, Brahma and his devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. Agrama Bhuvanaloka Gunara Bhartinorjana Mam Vidya Kumandeya Guna Janmana Vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan Pracharini Nirvishesha Shrivadi Paschakti Deshakarni. Hare Krishna. Just a very quick show of hands. Who was here last week for Sunday Feast class? Almost no one. Okay. So last week, the verse which ties in with today's verse was about how this material world is a place of temporality and suffering. And in fact, because everything is temporary, therefore it's a place of suffering. So in this verse today, that idea is being examined a little more closely. Prabhupada translates it, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery. Now in the actual Sanskrit of the verse, it doesn't say anything about this world being a place of misery, just that from the highest to the lowest, it's all temporary, and you have to suffer rebirth. But Prabhupada is including that because it's continuing the discussion from the previous verse, explaining why is it that this world is a place of misery, and this verse explains why. I'm going to take a little detour to sort of in a roundabout way and get to the subject of this verse. I hope that's okay with everyone. James Joyce said that sometimes the longest way around is the shortest way home. So hopefully this detour will make sense when we this needs to be closer. So hopefully this detour will make sense as I tie it all up. Back in 1935, Srila Prabhupada, he was a young, actually not such a young boy, I think he was almost 40 at the time. He was already an initiated disciple of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta. And on the occasion of the 62nd, 63rd Vyasa Puja celebration, Bhakti-Siddhanta, he was in Puri at the time. Prabhupada was in Allahabad at the relatively new Gaudiya Math Center. So they had a celebration, and at that celebration, Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Babu, he composed one poem and spoke it, and he also composed a long lecture, which he also spoke. And when Bhakti-Siddhanta, he heard that poem, he was so taken with it. And when he read that lecture that Prabhupada wrote, which was then published in the Gaudiya Math magazine, Bhakti-Siddhanta said, whatever he writes, you publish it. But anyway, I'm not going to read the whole poem, but one stanza from it. That's the famous poem many devotees will know. but this is a couple of stanzas down. Prabhupada wrote, "Message of service thou hast brought, a healthful life as Chaitanya wrought. Unknown to all, it's full of grace. That's your gift, your divine grace." So I'm reading that because the life of Krishna consciousness is so nice, such a nice thing, such a wonderful life. I'm so grateful to Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's movement and all the devotees who have, helped me and tolerated me and guided me and allowing me to take part in this movement, because he speaks it so nicely. Message of service, so that's the first one, the message of service, that this life is a life of devotional service to Krishna. And then he says, a healthful life, as Chaitanya wrought. So it's even a healthy life, this life of Krishna consciousness. We have the best diet, so healthy diet, beautiful food, amazing food to eat, incomparable in the world, actually. Even, what was his name? The famous cooking show guy who sadly committed suicide a couple of years ago, Anthony Bourdain. Big meat eater, completely unrepentant meat eater. But he said that if I lived in India, I could very easily be vegetarian. Because the tradition is there, the amazing ingredients and thousands, millions, an eternity of a culture of cooking for Krishna is there. So we have this wonderful diet, amazing prasadam to eat, and song and dance, just like before class there was that, we had the beautiful kirtan that devotee led, so sweet singing and so beautiful. So we get that every day, beautiful music and singing and dancing and arts are all included, and cooking and eating and unknown to all, it's full of grace. This is a little archaic language, full of grace. So full of grace, we still say the word is here, something is bracing. So what does that mean? In architecture or engineering, a brace is something that supports the structure to make it stronger. So this life of Krishna consciousness is bracing us, because life in Krishna consciousness or out of Krishna consciousness, there's always difficulties and oppositions and challenges and so many things going on, but it's bracing. It gives us the strength to stand up and face life head on in a straightforward and progressive way. So it gives us the strength to do that. And bracing also means like invigorating. Like if you're inside and then you go outside after spring rain, and you go outside and you walk in the forest and you breathe that fresh air after a rainstorm, with oxygen coming off the trees all around you. Take a deep breath and you just breathe that air in, and it just feels so, like it just fills you up, and you feel strong, and you feel healthy, and you feel invigorated. So that's also bracing. So this life is bracing. It's bracing. It makes us strong and stable to continue our life progressively. And it's bracing. It's invigorating and exciting and a lively and wonderful life. And it's a healthful life, not just physically healthful, emotionally healthful. All of our emotional needs are fulfilled. We have friends and family and relationships, and I always talk about the bodily health, and we also have stimulating friendships and deep philosophy to ponder over. And just like we have the beautiful kirtan, and after that we have the japa meditation. So we also have such a beautiful balance. We have our private meditation, which is popular in Buddhism and some other traditions. We have the private meditation, and we also have the group celebration. So everything is there, and it's such a wonderful life, and devotees are the most wonderful people. I can't artificially sugarcoat it. We're all people, we're all coming out of society, and I could be a jerk sometimes. Devotees aren't always perfect, but in general, devotees are such nice people. They have amazing senses of humor, and they're intelligent, and they're caring, and just wonderful people to live with and grow with and be with. Even sometimes there can be difficulties, but in general, it's such a healthful and happy and progressive life that we're given the opportunity to enjoy and progress and advance in this devotional service. So I'm so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for that. Just like Prabhupada said one time, maybe it was around New Year's time, Prabhupada said, our every day is New Year. Nava Nava Yuman. Our Krishna consciousness is so nice. The more you advance, you see New Year, New Year. That's all. Nothing is old. So there's nothing stale or boring or, like that about Krishna consciousness. Or he also said, so far as we are concerned, our New Year is every day, because Krishna belongs to the Nitya Lila. So Krishna is engaging in his Nitya Lila, his eternal pastimes, and as we approach that, we also become eternal. So New Year is every day, it's always fresh, it's never stale. Sometimes amongst skeptics, or amongst atheists, or even people who want to be religious or try to be religious, there's a conception, oh, spiritual life is so dry, and you go to heaven, and oh my God, heaven, how boring. You're up in the clouds, and you're strumming a harp for eternity, and oh my God, it sounds so dull. Mark Twain said heaven for climate, but hell for association. So that's his humorous take on that. This idea that, oh, hell is so boring, you're up there in the clouds and nothing's going on. But both in this life and after this life, when we attain perfection, if and when we attain perfection, still there's nothing boring. Nava Nava Yuman, it's always fresh. There's eternal pastimes going on, full of unlimited variety and unlimited bliss, and not just unlimited happiness, but ever increasing happiness. So there's no dullness, there's no stagnation. It's not static, it's ecstatic, is another way of saying it. And not only that, what we're doing in this life, practicing Krishna consciousness, even though we're not perfect, I'm not perfect, I'm far from it, but whatever I'm practicing, this is the same thing, in a sense, as what even the most perfected souls in the spiritual world are doing. Hearing and chanting about Krishna and associating with devotees, and all these different activities. Prabhupada said, just like a mango, there's the green mango, and there's the ripe mango. But the mango is so nice that even when it's green, even when it's not ripe, the green mango is still so useful and so delicious. And then when it ripens, then it's even more amazing, a sweet ripe mango. So even in this point of practice, we're not perfect, but we're in the state of the mango, even though we're a little unripe still. So it's such a wonderful life, such an amazing opportunity Srila Prabhupada has given us, that in this very life we're doing the activities of the eternally liberated souls, of devoting our lives to Krishna, associating with devotees, singing and dancing in glorification of the Supreme Personality of God. And we do it in this life, and in the next life the same business continues. If we become perfect, then we return to the spiritual world. Today's verse is Mamu Pitya tu Konteya, that you can actually return to be with Krishna. And you can attain that. And even if you don't become perfect, even if I don't become perfect in this life, at least I know in the next life I get to pick up where I left off. So here is one point of comparison with today's verse. Today's verse is describing material endeavors. That from way up the topmost, highest position of material life in Brahmaloka will fall down from that position without Krishna consciousness. And whatever state you are, the demigods and the heavenly planets in Brahmaloka, I have no experience of that I can remember, but I've heard about it, so I know from that very high position will fall down. But even in this life, someone can be on a very, very high position, and then they fall from that. Even in this life, and what to speak of at the end of this life. You could collect money and make more money, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, but as soon as you die, your bank balance immediately reverts to zero. there's a Yiddish saying, I can't remember the Yiddish, but it says that funeral shrouds have no pockets. The idea being you can't take, like we say in English common language, you can't take it with you. So whatever you collect in this life, at the time of death, it's reduced to zero. You have your big family, your dynasty. You have your big political movement, your big, whatever it may be, your big multiple degrees, university degrees. But at the time of death, all finished, reduced to zero, and you have to start again, start from zero, and $1, and 100, and 1,000, and a million, and do it again, and lose it again. Punar Arvartino Arjuna. That means over and over and over. So this is the position of materialistic life. But Mamu Pete to Konteya Punar Janma Navigate. When you attain Krishna, which means when you attain Krishna consciousness, when you attain genuine love and affection and attraction for Krishna, then the birth and rebirth over and over is finished. And whatever you've done in Krishna consciousness, that's never lost. But in materialistic life, everything is lost, either in this life or at the time of death. Another literary reference, if you don't mind, Henry David Thoreau said, the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. What is called resignation is confirmed desperation. A stereotyped but unconscious despair is concealed even under what are called the games and amusements of mankind. So, materialistic endeavors are doomed to failure. There are degrees, even in that endeavor there are degrees. There are some, of course there's animals, and then there are also humans who are like animals, that all they want is to gratify my senses. I'm hungry, put something in my mouth. Lusty, let me find a sex partner. I want this, I want that. It's just taking like an animal, just like an animal does, just gratify your senses with no thought of religion or morality or any other conception except gratifying myself. I think it's Gita Upadesh, maybe, and it says, Ahara Neja Bhagavantu Namcha Samantimita Pashubir Narana. In the matter of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending those four things, no difference between humans and animals. The difference is when Krishna consciousness is active. So this is animal life. Prabhupada would sometimes say, what's the difference between you and a dog? You're running on the highway on 4 wheels, and the dog is running on 4 legs. What's the difference? If the endeavor is the same thing, to gratify the senses. And even one time, Srila Prabhupada was preaching like this in a lecture, and one person raised his hand at the end and spoke up and said, Swamiji, you say I'll become a dog after this life for my activities, but I don't think that's so bad. What's wrong? I wouldn't mind being a dog. And Srila Prabhupada said, you have my blessings. So anyway, this is the lowest order of materialistic life. But even higher levels, the poet, the artist, the philosopher, the intellectual, these are admittedly higher levels, judging by the modes of material nature in different ways. They're higher, they're more refined, create, like an artist actually genuinely creating a thing of beauty within this material world, or a philosopher coming up with some refined idea, or a poet creating some beautiful emotional expression. These are higher things, but even them ultimately, in the ultimate sense, all fall short, because they're all within the realm of this material world. What's that? Tacha Sotvam Nirmalatvat Prakashakam Anamayam. That the mode of goodness, these activities in the mode of goodness, personified in the persons of the artist, the philosopher, the scholar, they're higher, they're better, they're more pure. But they're still within the realm of material life. They're still within the realm of you admittedly attain a higher position, but again you'll fall from it and over and over and over and over again. So this is why materialistic life is condemned. Not because, we don't want to be like sometimes some religionists or capable of any happiness or any enjoyment at all. That it's not like that, it's that we're aspiring for what will give us Brahma Sokham Tvahantam, what will give us happiness that won't end, that won't die. And not only eternal in time, in quantity, but in quality. Because the happiness of the sense gratifier, of the animalistic person, or even of the scholar, none of them are ultimately satisfying because they don't recognize the identity and the quality of we ourselves as spirit souls. Because we're spiritual in nature, we can't ultimately be satisfied by a material thing, by a material pursuit. Because, first of all, because it's of a different nature. Just like if you take the fish, probably I gave the example, you take the fish out of water, and if you give it a nice soft bed to lay on, a nice food to eat, and a nice apartment, but if it's out of the water, no matter what you do, the fish is going to be in distress. So similarly, if we neglect Krishna, then no matter what we do, even if we pad and make comfortable and develop and express all the different aspects of materialistic life to the highest degree, ultimately it won't satisfy us, neither qualitatively nor quantitatively satisfy us. Therefore we pursue Krishna, because that's our actual identity. Jiver Swarupai Krishna Nityadas, to be the eternal servants of Krishna. And by doing that, Mamupetya Tukonteya, Punajamanavidite, we're situated in our eternal position. We never fall down from that again. We never come back to just materialistic life again. And until that point, it may take a while for us to get there, but whatever we do, it's never lost. Nahavi Brahmanasosti, whatever advancement you do, it's never lost. Unlike every other material advancement is ultimately lost. So, therefore, we want to advance in Krishna consciousness for our own happiness, for the benefit of our friends and those we love and those we treasure, and for the benefit of the whole world, for those who have a sufficiently expansive sense of identity and sense of compassion. We want to give this Krishna consciousness to the whole world for that reason, to make people happy. And for us personally, for me individually, for us individually, any little advancement in Krishna consciousness we can make is such a precious thing, such a thing to be treasured and to be valued. It's never lost. And that doesn't mean we become complacent or self-satisfied. Rather, that means, wow, let me increase it even more. Even a little bit is so valuable, so let me increase it more and more until I'm perfect. Bhagavatam says, Kim pramatasya bhavubi parokshari anardiha param muhurtam viditam gatate shreyase yata. What use is Kim pramatasya bhavubi? What is the use of lifetime after lifetime, hundreds, thousands, millions of lifetimes of pramatasya, of this life of illusion, chasing sense gratification, chasing materialistic life, chasing fame, chasing glory, chasing prestige, chasing gratification of the senses. Kim pramatasya, this is madness, this is intoxication. Bhavubi, many, many lives. What's the use of it? Better, paroksha iva, varam muhurtam viritam. Muhurta means a short period of time. So better even just a moment of Krishna consciousness compared to a whole big life of construction of illusion. Better a moment of reality, a bit of reality in our lives is better than all of that. Therefore, without being too, we don't want to be, again, too much of a sourpuss, but we reject material life as the goal of life. One time Prabhupada was preaching like this, materialistic life is not really a source of real happiness. And sometimes Prabhupada and his disciples, they would talk, and they would have like mock arguments, and the disciples would take the part of opponents arguing with Srila Prabhupada. So the devotee, I think it was Harikesh, started saying, "What do you mean it's not happiness?" I said, "I am happy all the time. I have so much happiness." He said, "No, that's material life has no real happiness." He said, "There's so much happiness. I think there's happiness. He thinks there's happiness. Everyone says there's happiness." And Paul said, "Not everyone. I don't say." And so Harikesh said, "Well, you're the only one." And Paul said, "Yes, that is because I'm the only intelligent man." So it takes a little intelligence, it takes a little knowledge, it takes a little mercy of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. It takes a little experience also of Krishna consciousness, of the happiness of Krishna consciousness, to understand this, that materialistic life is not our permanent home. Krishna consciousness is the wonderful, healthful life, full of grace, as Chaitanya wrought, that Prabhupada has come to this at such risk. He came to America and he started this movement for this purpose, to give us this healthful life, this wonderful life. So this is my request to myself and my request to all of you here. I'm looking around, I think most of you are already within Krishna consciousness to some degree. But if you're not, then take a little bit, do something. Start chanting, start attending the temple, offer your food to Krishna, have kirtan, read Srila Prabhupada's books. Go from zero spiritual life up to some percentage. And those of us who are already practicing, we're at 1%, 10%, or 50%, whatever level if we're at 1%, take it up to 2%. If we're at 50%, do a little more, 51%. Push it a little more. And take this life of Krishna consciousness, healthy and natural and beautiful life of Krishna consciousness, which is beautiful not just in its own right, but for what it can give us, this eternal life with Krishna in the spiritual world. One final bit. This is from a lecture Srila Prabhupada gave in Gainesville back in 72, I think it was. He said, "So I'm very glad that you are so many boys and girls taking interest in Krishna consciousness. So please come here. You've got a very nice place." This was in Gainesville, but that was before it was like Gainesville is today. This was a little preaching center at the time. You have got a very nice place. Discuss about Krishna. Try to understand Krishna through philosophy, through science, through your intelligence, not blindly, and you will surely understand what is Krishna. And as soon as you understand Krishna, your life is successful. You will become happy in this life, and if you execute properly Krishna consciousness, then next life you'll go immediately to Krishna for eternal blissful life of knowledge, Satchidananda Vigraha. That is stated in Bhagavad-gita. Janma karma me divyam yojanati tattva. Anyone who knows me in fact, in truth, the result is tyaktva deham pujan punarjanma naiti. That's from Bhagavad-gita chapter 4, text 9, Prabhupada is quoting. So that's what Bhagavad-gita 4:9 says. Janma karma jane divyam evam yoti tattva tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti sorjana. If you know Krishna, if you study Krishna, if you serve Krishna, if you devote your life to Krishna, Janma karma, who is divine, who is completely transcendental, beyond this material world, all of his appearance, his activities, his qualities, his holy name, his associates are all transcendental. Janma karma chane divyam evam yoveti tattva. And you understand in truth. In truth means you don't speculate, you don't invent something else, you don't make something up. You accept Krishna as he is. You accept Bhagavad-gita as it is. Right? Prabhupada said if you're studying Bhagavad-gita, you have to understand Bhagavad-gita in the way that Arjuna understood Bhagavad-gita. I'll tell a quick story here. there was one author who wrote, I must have told this before, but it's a great story. Prabhupada told about one author, Bengali author, who wrote one famous drama, Shah Jahan, about the activities of King Shah Jahan. And in that, everyone in India knows Shah Jahan. And he, out of great love for his wife Mumtaz, he built the Taj Mahal. But then his son came, Aurangzeb, who was so evil and so cruel and such a miscreant. He killed all of his brothers, and he locked his father in jail, and he lived out the rest of his life in jail. So he wrote this drama all about this. And one friend went to the author and said, you named this book Shah Jahan, but throughout the whole book, Shah Jahan is just sitting in jail. He's not doing anything. Why are you calling it Shah Jahan? You should call the book Aurangzeb, because it's all about the activities of Aurangzeb. And the author said, no, you don't understand. Shah Jahan is sitting in jail, but all of the activities of the drama are beating on his heart while he's in jail. So therefore, he's the central person. He's the hero of the book. So anyway, in a roundabout way, the point is that the author of the book knows the point of the book. So Krishna is the author, Arjuna is the student, so we understand Bhagavad-gita in the way that they understood it. Shukadeva Goswami is the speaker, Parikshit Maharaj is the student. We understand Srimad Bhagavatam in the way that they understood it. And above all, Srila Prabhupada is the eternal servant of Krishna, therefore we understand Krishna in the way, and Krishna consciousness, in the way that Srila Prabhupada did, in the way that he taught us. And that's the result. The result of that is Tyaktam Deham Punar Janmanaiti. No more birth and rebirth in this material world. No more building up and crashing down, starting from zero over and over again. No more whatever you gain, whatever you're trying to cling on to, it's all yanked out of your grasp, either in this life or at the end of this life. That verse says, Tyaktam Deham Punar Janmanaiti. Punar Janma Naiti, no more Punar Janma, no more cycle of birth and death. And today's verse says, Mam Upekta Tukotear Punar Janma Navidite. Saying this, well, first it says, Punar Avartino Jana, that those who are absorbed in materialistic life, Punar Avartino, they do have to repeat over and over and over and over again. But when you return to Krishna, Punar Janma Navidite. Same thing, no more cycle of birth and death. So that's my plea to myself and to all of us. Just live this life. In this life, it's such a happy life of Krishna consciousness. And at the end, we either go on to another life to continue progressing, or if we're fortunate and determined enough in our practice, at the end of this life, we return to Krishna for an eternal existence of spiritual bliss with Krishna, our eternal master, our eternal companion, friend, master, friend, child, and beloved. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your kind attention. In the 2 or 3 minutes left, if there's any question or comment or discussion, we can do. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you once again, everybody. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Govinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Thank you, Brihat Mridanga Prabhu, for that ecstatic kirtan. Haribol, Haribol. So before we take prashad, just going to ask everybody to stay seated for a few more minutes. A couple of important announcements we want to make sure everybody's aware of. When you do go outside, I mentioned this earlier, just a safety concern, please make sure you wear your shoes. We have some construction going on the front of the building. They do clean up, but every once in a while something comes and we want to make sure.
They like their shoes.
Yes. So just make sure you wear your shoes when you go outside for prashad. You don't want to walk barefoot outside. Everything should be safe, but just in case. I'd like to thank our Sunday sponsors for tonight. We have two of them, both are birthdays, so we want to get ready to give our blessings. The first is Mahindra Mishra. His birthday was just the other day. Please come forward, we have some prashad for you. Just having a great time here. Some people feel shy when they come to the Hare Krishna temple for the first time. And some people feel right at home. I think she's been here before in her previous life. Happy birthday, Hare Krishna to you. And Lord Jagannath bless you with a happy and healthy year ahead, full of thoughts and devotion to Lord Krishna. I'm going to ask the devotees to please raise their hands and offer their blessings. And chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. And then the second birthday we want to recognize today is Ashwin Mahajan. Ashwin is here with us today. Sunil Mahajan's son? Yes. Oh, he's not here, but his father will take it on his behalf. Arizona, okay. I thought maybe he was visiting with us. For your son?
Haribol.
Ashwin, how old is Ashwin? 41. Okay. So for Ashwin, let's chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Offer our blessings as Shri Gurudhara Shri Radheshwar Bihari Jagannath Purvis Sudarshan Maharani. So please bless them. And a life of good health, happiness, and full of devotional service to Krishna. Is there a
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. 6 months ago, in February, seems like a long time ago, Eagles were in the Super Bowl. It was actually Super Bowl weekend when it happened. And now, Eagles are getting ready to start training camp, so it was a whole off season for football. But 6 months ago, we embarked on a journey here at ISKCON Philadelphia, and we teamed up and partnered with the Krishna House down in Gainesville. They have a very successful program of cultivating young college students, young professionals, and getting them trained in Krishna consciousness and getting them to become devotees of Lord Krishna. And we're very interested in trying to adopt that model here in Philadelphia and see what we can do to adapt so that we can increase our presence in Philadelphia and try to make more opportunities for younger people, especially local people, to come to Krishna consciousness. This is a mission that Srila Prabhupada established when he wrote the 7 Purposes of ISKCON, was to reach out to the public at large, to educate them on the spiritual principles of Krishna consciousness. So we did a 6-month trial. We did a 6-month trial. We had 3 very sincere, dedicated devotees. Brihampradama Guru. When she came, she was Bhakti and Trisha, but now she is Premamrita Devi Dasi. And when he came, it was Bhakti Max, and now it is Manohar Prabhu. They came 6 months ago and did a lot of wonderful work. And but their 6 months has come to an end. I'm going to ask Brihampradama Prabhu, who is the ashram mentor leader here in Philadelphia, to say a few words and give a little presentation of some of the things that they did over these past 6 months.
Thank you, Dronacharya Prabhu. So I'll keep this brief because I'm in between a lot of hungry devotees and their dinner. So just really quickly, we want to share some gratitude for all of your support. This Krishna House project would not have been possible without the support of this wonderful community. So just briefly, we wanted to share some of the results of what we've done and give thanks, essentially. So we were going out regularly for book distribution and Harinam at Rittenhouse Square and City Hall, and we were able to distribute over 1,000 of Srila Prabhupada's books and collect over $3,000.
Yeah!
So we are very grateful that we could come here and do this service. It's very rare that someone can spend much of their week and days to distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, and it's by the kindness of all of you and the temple leaders to let us do this. We planted many seeds which will one day fructify, and specifically we wanted to share about our Bhagavad-gita distribution. We had a few sponsors for cases of Bhagavad-gitas, Suman Sharma Mataji, Abhinav Prabhu, Nilmar Raja Mataji. There were other sponsors as well, and we wanted to thank all of you and just show a little bit of what we did. This is at Rittenhouse Square. People who never would have gotten Bhagavad-gita before, they couldn't afford it and never exposed to it before. So by your kindness, we were able to share Bhagavad-gita. We were also putting books in some of the little free libraries around here. So you don't see it in these pictures, but we put hardcover Bhagavad-gitas as well in a lot of the little free libraries here. And just some more pictures of Rittenhouse Square, nice people getting Bhagavad-gitas. And they were so grateful, and some people were saying, I was just looking for something like this. And we were so excited to be able to connect with those people. So, many people helped us. Kalakanta Prabhu is the one who came here and connected with the temple leaders. We give our thanks to him. Dronacharya Prabhu and Mother Sita have been so kind working with us and answering many questions and being like a mother and father to the Krishna House team. So we're very indebted to them. And Shobha Radhe Mataji has been organizing our class schedule. Very grateful for her. Shashi Shekhar and Dr. Maiki were coming out with us for book distribution. And Dear Mataji and Pratik Prabhu, they made cookies for us. We were distributing probably close to 1,000 cookies we were able to distribute as well by their kindness. And Ganapati Prabhu, all the wonderful pujaris and cooks here have been so kind to adjust for us. And of course, Dr. Bruce, who is still here with us, he was staying with us for a little over a month. And you see the smile on his face, and that shows. So, because of all of you, we've been able to do this. There's many more devotees to thank, but we just wanted to share this. And of course, none of this would be possible without His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. So we give our utmost thanks to him for coming to Philadelphia and giving us all this opportunity to come to Krishna consciousness. So this whole Krishna House project is just, like Dronacharya was saying, extending his compassion to the people of Philadelphia. So that's my little presentation for all of you out of gratitude. Thank you so much for having us here. We look forward to coming back in the future. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Thank you.
I'm going to invite Manohar Prabhu and Bhagavad-gita up here. And just so we can just offer our thanks to them. You can only imagine you're in your early 20s, you can probably do a lot of things in life, a lot of opportunities there for you, but you say, you know what, I'm going to give a half a year of my time to go serve in the temple. And not even their own temple, not even the place that they joined, but to kind of a foreign land that they came to. They're down south, they came up north. They didn't come up north in the summertime, they came up north right in the middle of winter. So it's a big austerity, a big leap for them. So they deserve some thanks and appreciation. And we certainly want to offer our blessings to them as they go to their next step and their next temple. Different services that they're going to be going on to. We want to wish them all the best and give our thanks to them. So we have some garlands for them. The amazing things that these devotees do. They're really kind-hearted devotees, and I think there's a lot of opportunity out there to serve Srila Prabhupada. And again, thank you so much, for doing this for our temple. And I wish you all the best going forward. Once again, let's raise our hands and chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We're here for a couple more days, so make sure you say, if you want to keep in touch, exchange numbers with them, or say a few words to them. And you're leaving, I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Tomorrow, Thursday. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki